Hello everyone, and welcome to Triple R Financial. Before we dive in, please make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Just search for Triple R Financial. I'd really appreciate your support. So, let's talk about a topic that affects so many people, being poor. What does it really mean? At its core, being poor means you make less money than what you need for your basic necessities. It's a constant struggle where your income just doesn't cover rent, food, utilities, and transportation. And when you're in that situation, saving money isn't just difficult, it's impossible. There is nothing left to cut back on because there was never any money to waste in the first place. This constant financial pressure takes a huge toll. It affects your physical health, your mental well-being, and your emotional stability. The stress is relentless. Now, you might be wondering, what's the secret to getting out of this cycle? What's the one step to becoming not just stable, but truly rich and financially free? The answer is simpler than you might think, but it requires a fundamental shift in perspective. That one crucial step is knowing your financial value as an employee. I am going to repeat that because it's the cornerstone of everything we're going to discuss. You must know your financial value as an employee. Before I go further, I have a small favor to ask. Because my channel is still growing, platforms like YouTube have certain restrictions. I can't put direct links to my other social media accounts in the description, and I can't monetize my content yet to help support the channel. The thresholds to unlock these features keep getting higher. So, if you find any value in this video, please take a moment to like it, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel. Hitting those buttons truly helps me get closer to my goal and allows me to keep creating content for you. Your support means the world to me. Now, to illustrate my point about financial value, I want to share a true story from my life. Years ago, I was walking to my local McDonald's. As I was heading in, I bumped into an old classmate from high school. He was incredibly eager to show off his brand new luxury SUV, parked right out front. It was the kind of car that turns heads. It still had two stickers on the windows. One was the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and the other showed the total cost with every single option checked off. The price was staggering. But it wasn't just the car. My old classmate himself was a spectacle. He was literally wearing over $250,000 worth of clothes and accessories. He flashed a Rolex watch that he said was worth $100,000. He had multiple gold chains around his neck, totaling over $50,000. On his feet were a pair of pristine retro Air Jordans that cost $400. And he was wearing an expensive designer jacket that still had the price tag hanging off the sleeve, hundreds of dollars. He then started to insult me. He gloated about how he had hustled his way to success while I was wasting my time going to college. He made it very clear that he thought he was doing much better financially than I was. What he didn't mention at the time, which I learned later, was that his success wasn't just from hustling. He had a government job that he got through a connection, despite only having a high school diploma. His whole persona was built on this image of self-made wealth. Fast forward a few weeks. I was standing in line at a Kentucky Fried Chicken, waiting to order my food. And guess who came rushing through the door? It was the same classmate. He looked completely different. He was flustered, late for his shift. Yes, his part-time job was at KFC. I didn't even recognize him at first. He was no longer covered in designer gear. He was in a fast food uniform, hurrying to clock in. The irony was staggering. I later found out that the combined income from his full-time government job and his part-time KFC job was still less than what I was earning from my single, full-time job. His entire display of wealth was a facade. He was spending every dollar he had, and more, to maintain an image. He didn't understand his real financial value, and he was living a life built on debt and appearances, not on actual wealth. This story brings me back to my central point. Real, systemic poverty often stems from two core issues: poor math skills and poor listening skills. Now, before you get offended, let me clarify. When I say poor math skills, I don't mean you can't do calculus. I mean the basic, everyday math of personal finance, budgeting, understanding income versus expenses, and calculating your net worth. This accounts for about 90 to 99% of the problem. The inability to see the numbers clearly is what keeps people trapped. The poor listening skills are a much smaller piece of the puzzle, maybe 1%, but they're still important. It's about not hearing or ignoring sound financial advice when it's given. There are many stereotypes about people experiencing poverty, especially from those who are well off. One of the most common is that poor people actually make enough money to cover their necessities but choose to spend it on frivolous things. That they have a new phone, nice sneakers, or get their nails done, and that's why they're poor. And while some people might fit that description, like my old classmate, I am here to tell you that this is not the reality for the vast majority of people struggling financially. Most people who are truly poor are not poor by choice or because of bad spending habits. They are poor because their income is fundamentally insufficient to meet their basic needs. They don't have the luxury of choosing where their money goes. Every cent is already allocated to survival. That's why understanding your value as an employee is so critical. It's not about cutting coupons or skipping coffee. It's about recognizing what your skills, your time, and your labor are actually worth in the marketplace. Are you being paid fairly for the value you create for your employer? Is your salary keeping up with inflation and the cost of living? Are there opportunities for you to increase that value, and therefore your income? This is the path to financial freedom. It starts with a clear-eyed assessment of your financial situation. You have to do the math. Track your income, track your expenses, and see where you truly stand. Then, you need to research your industry. What are other people with your skills and experience earning? What certifications or training could you acquire to increase your value? Your goal should be to increase your value every single workday. Every task you complete, every project you contribute to, is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become more indispensable. Don't just work for a paycheck. Work to build your skills and enhance your professional worth. When you do that, you put yourself in a position of power. You can negotiate for a raise, seek a better paying job, or even start your own business. You stop being a passive recipient of a wage and become an active architect of your financial future. So, let's bring it all together. Being poor isn't a character flaw. For most, it's a mathematical problem. Income is less than expenses. The solution is not to shrink your life down to fit your meager income, but to expand your income to fit the life you want and deserve. And the key to that is knowing, and then increasing, your financial value as an employee. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to Triple R Financial, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss future content. As always, know your financial value as an employee. Increase your value every workday. Have a great day and a great year.